What's going on, guys? It's Cal with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today is the day we're going to be doing, I'm still calling this a full review, even though I've had this knife for only a few days. One of the first to be able to get my hands on this, and I'm very honored to say that I am in love with the Divo Knives Stout. You probably saw my unboxing, maybe you did, maybe you didn't, of this beautiful beast. This is a knife designed by my good friend and brother, Kevin, Lefty EDC, and his partner, Colin. I have not yet to meet Colin. I missed On the Edge Saturday, where I would probably get to do that, but the whole family kind of came down with the little stomach bug thing. It was brutal, and then we had some other stuff going on, so I did not get to make that. I really feel bad about it. But I got to talk to Kevin a little bit. I mean, obviously, I've known about this knife for a long time. He's told it on me and Jake Bearded Gear, Chris Grady's Gear, since we're such good friends, you know, kind of getting us opinion the whole time that he was going through this. We were all excited for him. And the thing is, you would think that a lot of knife designers that have been in the community for a while know exactly what the knife community wants, and they put it out there, right? But that's kind of subjective because not everybody is the same. But there is a core group of things that people really want in a pocket knife. And I have to say that I really think Kevin and Colin nailed it. I have a particular version of the knife that is a kind of a shredded carbon fiber. It has this dual satin where you have these satin lines going this way in the primary bevel and then going this way on the flats, which I know a lot of people like. The grinds are great on this. However, it's kind of a fingerprint matic, kind of hard to keep clean. I'm more of really a stonewash guy, except for some. There are some, you know, hand rub satins and stuff that are like that, but they're so beautiful, you know, so I kind of go back. But as far as a everyday carry knife, I do like a stonewash, and that's going to be the pre-order choices. You're going to have a stonewash and a black wash with micarta and copper carbon fiber. And if you haven't seen, well, first of all, I'm going to put I'm going to put the picture up of some of the choices you're going to have. These are the prototypes that he's gotten. If you'll notice that this carbon fiber one's not even in that picture because this carbon fiber is not going to be the one that he chooses, and I understand that. Definitely the other ones I think look better. Not that this looks bad, but I just like the micarta look, and then that copper carbon fiber. He was originally going to send me that one, but he said that maybe that one needed a little bit of, you know, he thought maybe the detent was a little too strong on that. I doubt that. Kevin's the detent diva, so you know how he is. But then I was kind of bummed, you know. I was like, well, I really wanted to see that up close, man. But that one is definitely going to be available, and that is definitely the one that I am going to go for. We'll go over what the prices and all that stuff is later in the video because I think we know all those details now. But let's just talk about the knife, shall we? So I got this knife in. Obviously, I was fucking excited. Kevin is a good friend of mine, and I was really just excited for him to be successful, right? And I think this knife is going to be a success. Why? Okay, you got Kyle. That's like your best friend. Of course, you're going to say that. You're right. I am going to say that. But if you guys know Kevin, he's a driven son of a bitch. Whenever he puts his mind to something, he goes after it. And it's one of the things I admire about Kevin and about all the guys that I'm in the community with. Jake has done this with the Avant, which I'm happy that it's on its way. Chris from Grady's Gear has got some things in the work for the pie bar. So these guys just are wonderful, driven people. And Kevin, I think, is kind of above and beyond most. I really have been impressed with him. So this is his first knife design. Let's go over it, why I think it is basically hitting it out of the park. So Kevin's a lefty, right? So the first thing that you notice that is the bolster lock. I personally like bolster locks because I think they're just a little bit more refined. They're easier without having to put pressure on the lock bar even for a righty, but it's more important for a lefty to be able to not have your finger on the lock bar and lock the knife up to be able to middle finger flick the knife. I think that was a really good move. I'm a huge fan of bolster locks, and I think most people are because, I mean, it's basically a frame lock, but you have most of the frame covered up by a scale of some sort. So it makes it really easy to deploy, and it makes it really easy to disengage. He's got a little bit of a scallop right there, which in the lock bar pressure is hardly anything to be able to get it out of the way, so it's really comfortable. It hasn't hurt my thumb at all. And, you know, these are made by QSP. These are prototypes. And I kind of feel bad for QSP because whenever you have to make a prototype for somebody nicknamed the detent diva, you got to nail the detent, right? Well, I'm pretty sure all of them are like this from what I've seen with, you know, Jake getting his and Chris getting his and then Kevin flicking them on. But the detents on these are, well, they nailed it. That's just all I can say. QSP nailed the detent. It's really, I haven't been able to fail this. You put the pressure there, and as soon as you break the detent, it fires open. That's all you want in a detent. It is not too strong. It is definitely not too weak. It's right there in my sweet spot. And a lot to do, and that's just a lot to do with the way the hole is designed as well. As you can see, it's an elongated, but has this little area here where basically it's perfect where my finger goes. My finger can't go too deep in the hole because sometimes that can be a problem. And it's got that little area there where it's just a perfect little flick where I can, you know, build the pressure and just fires out. You know, maybe it's the little things, you know, a spider hole, a slot, or a spider hole. They all work, right? But there are some that just work a little bit better. As you can see here on this Leon Mall Field Duty EDC, that's kind of the same-ish kind of shape. It's got similarities, right? Which Kevin will tell you, he got a lot of his inspiration from Leon Mall's designs. He asked Leon Mall, he told Leon Mall this is going to happen. Now, this is definitely not a Leon Mall knife, so different. However, you can see some design, I guess, what do you call it? What's the word? Inspiration from Leon Mall, because as you know, me and Kevin love Leon Mall designs. One of my favorite knives of all time is still the Field Duty, the full size, and even the Field Duty EDC. They're just great knives. But I really think that the whole package here, man, I'm telling you, I don't know. It's kind of like, I'm a bigger knife guy, right? This thing is only about 7.5 inches long. But it's got something that I almost have to have in every knife, and especially this size, is that finger troll right there. Me and Kevin both like a finger troll, and especially on a EDC size knife, which this is. It's not a large knife, it's not a small knife. I think it's in that perfect little sweet spot with about 3.3 inch blade. I got it about 3.292, so it's right at the 3.3 inches and 7.5 inches overall. It's really at that great sweet spot for, I think, most everybody. And it's going to fit everybody's hands. Why is it going to fit everybody's hands? Because of the neutralness of the design of the handle. This thing is, you know, you have your finger troll here, a little bit of a swell, and then it's pretty neutral all the way out. And the reason that's great is because I can do a choked back grip, have my thumb land right there on that little ramp, still feel very comfortable. I cut like this a lot while I've had the knife. Very comfortable, and I still get all my fingers around this guy. It's barely there, but I still get all my fingers around it. And then, of course, this wonderful finger troll where I can choke up and then put my thumb right there in this little designed poon spoon, which makes this thing almost melt in the hand and really lock in. You're not as locked in when you're doing the backed up grip because the handle's neutral, but I don't ever do really hard cuts when I'm doing this because I got to have some reach or something like that. When I'm doing really hard cuts, I'm choked up like this, and this is locked in. I was able to really get some cardboard processed with this grip, and it was comfortable, and I could have done it all day long. And the reason that it does that, it's not all to do with ergonomics, but it also has to do with blade geometry. This one is a flat grind. I believe that he's chosen to do hollow grinds for the ones that are coming up. But even with it being a flat grind, this thing cuts really well. It was just a beast through cardboard. Now, I'm a light user, kind of a guy. Most of my cuts are going to be packages, opening packages, or cutting cardboard, some zip ties, things like that. So I'm a very light duty guy, but this thing handled everything that I threw at it. Let's go ahead and we'll cut some stuff right now before we go into anything else, because sometimes I just forget the shit. So cardboard, as you can see, it just slices through it like it's it's made to cut, right? It's only 137 thousandths thickness on the blade stock. That very well might change. He's thinking about maybe shortening it up or thinning it up just a little bit. Even if he doesn't, it's great blade geometry. I did measure it on the unboxing, which is about 24 to 26 thousandths behind the edge. And I think that's great. Like I said, it's going to be a hollow grind, so it's probably going to be even thinner than that. Let's go ahead and do some paracord like it's nothing. Just cuts like it's nothing. What about the bad stuff? What about the twisted sisal rope? This stuff sometimes gives us some trouble. I have not cut any twisted sisal rope with this, so let's see what happens. Oh boy. Oh, it almost got all the way through it. Yep. So cuts through the twisted sisal rope, and I bet I could probably get it with one swipe. Oh man, of course I didn't leave myself enough room there. No, I didn't give myself enough room to grab onto this thing. Let's go ahead and do it though. Yeah, see, I got it all the way. It's mainly usually my cutting, but it's all the way through, and if I can get it to show, very clean cut. So, and the thing is this being a EDC knife, it's actually, in my opinion, I guess a medium heavy duty knife, because it's so sturdy and so well put together. I mean, you can use it for anything, but I think this thing would go to work with you and do you very well. Running on bearings, obviously. This particular one has skiff bearings in it that Kevin put in. And as you can see, the action. See, it's that perfect control drop shut action that I like. Some of the other ones, I think, drop shut just a little bit more, but just kind of barely. Like this is my sweet spot of that really nice controlled drop shut action, where all you have to do basically is turn the knife and gravity takes it. It just gets some juices flowing every time. But QSP, I'm telling you, they nailed it. If they can do this in the production, we've got a winner. We've got a winner, and best QSP product that I've seen. I know, right? Finch and QSP. It's better than that. I mean, it is. As far as, I mean, when I'm sitting here playing with this, I would have never thought, you know, other than Riot, who would have made this. I hope QSP or nobody else takes offense to that. That's a compliment. That I thought, you know, holding this and flicking this, looking at it, playing with it, that it was a Riot-made knife. So, as you can see here, you do have the Divo Knives logo on the pivot. That is the only branding that you see on this knife, and that is a good thing. I know a lot of people don't like branding. It is 20 CV steel, but it is, I think, at least on the first few. On the pre-order, you're going to get some extra hardware where one of the pivots is not going to have the Divo Knives logo on there, so you can be totally sterile. I think it's a good move. A lot of people are like that. I don't mind the Divo Knife, especially with a branding like that. I mean, it's subtle, but it's there, so I don't mind that at all. This one has a bolster that is blasted. Very nice look, satin hardware. It's a T10 pivot, screw captive pivot. Thank you. Of course, it's going to be because Kevin's doing it. But that's what we all want, right? A T10 pivot. Beefy pivot, that, you know, when you're adjusting on that, you want good beefy hardware. And then T8 throughout the whole rest of the knife. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Why people use T6s still, I'll never know. But he didn't do that. Nice chamfering on the inside of the hole, on the outside of the blade. You do have a crowned blade right up here, so it would basically so freaking comfortable in this grip. One of the reasons is because of that crown blade. As you'll notice, there is no jimping. This knife does not need jimping. I'm one of those, there's a lot of people out there, Chris and Jake included, who just don't really like jimping at all. I don't mind jimping. If this blade had jimping in this little area right here, maybe not so much here, but right here, I wouldn't mind it. But jimping is kind of one of those things. It's really got to be done right. And I just don't think this knife needs it. Now, if it was on there, I wouldn't care. But I don't think this knife needs jimping at all. And I think it just adds a little bit of refinement when you're talking about this area that doesn't have any jimping. It just looks nice and smooth. And then you have the crown spine area. It just looks really nice. I can't really see that very well because my big mug's very big. But look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful blade. Beautiful shape. Obviously, with this particular blade shape, Kevin cuts a lot of labels. He likes that low point on the blade so he can get labels cut and stuff. A lot of us are like that because, like I said, we do a lot of package opening and stuff like that. This kind of blade hits the nail on the head for that kind of purpose. And then also, a wire pocket clip, a wire deep carry pocket clip. Now, it doesn't sit all the way, like you get that much maybe of the butt of the knife sticking out, but holy crap, who gives a damn? I love a wire pocket clip. Whenever I ordered the Gun-Near, you had a choice between a 3D mill pocket clip and a wire pocket clip. I obviously chose the wire pocket clip because why? They work. They're awesome. They are, they don't snag on anything. I love a wire deep carry pocket clip, and you've got one. Only thing Kevin kind of, I guess, blocked out a little bit was the button head screw. You know, you don't have a whole lot of room right up there. I didn't really find it in my pants, and I wear pretty thick pants, being an issue getting in and out of pocket. However, I think that's something he's going to talk to them about. Maybe getting a flat head screw instead of a button head screw to maybe lessen that gap that you have there, or expand the gap rather, so you have more room to be able to get it out of your pocket. I don't think it's that big of a deal. However, if they can get a flathead screw, it probably would help just a little bit. But I don't really care about that. Have a titanium backspacer and liners, obviously. Just a man. You know, with me, knives, they got to cut. They got to look good. And for me, it's got to, really, it's how much fun can I have opening and closing a knife, right? That's just me. A lot of people are not like that. They work with their knives. That's all they care about. I get it. Hats off to you. It's just not me. This one, I think, can handle anything that you throw at it, but it's so freaking satisfying to open and close this knife. I did it thousands of times since I've had it, and I can't stop. It's that much fun. Obviously, the reverse flick is something that I do most of the time, but again, with that little hole, that little angled part right there where I can get my thumb in and actually use the thumb to open this, I usually can't do that very well with a thumb hole. But this one, I found a lot less problems trying to use the thumb to deploy the knife. And then, of course, you know, I can do the index finger, and then, you know, doing my whole reverse thing where I go like this. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. I have a couple of good knife guys at work who, you know, I bring a lot of knives to work, especially over the span of having the channel. And a lot of them are just, they really like the knives. They're always, you know, hey, that's really cool. But this one, they actually was like, hey, is this available? Can I buy this? I think I want to buy this. So I've got guys at work who already, I was like, hey, I'll let you know when this thing goes on. But, you know, and we've got good news. Wait till the end of the video about when that happens. So you probably already heard about it. But anyways, let's go ahead and get behind the camera. We'll get a little bit more specs and then some closer views of this, and then also get some size comparisons so you'll have a better idea of what the size is on this bad boy. I really think it's about perfect, right there in the sweet spot for most people, even with somebody with my large hand size, and even somebody with much smaller hands. I believe it's going to be a very comfortable, usable knife for you. Let's go ahead and get a closer look at the Divo Knives Stout. Righty, let's go ahead and see if we can get a closer look at this bad boy. So there you go. There is the shredded carbon fiber I was talking about. This will not be an option. You saw the ones that will be micarta, and the copper carbon fiber would look so freaking good. There's that wire pocket clip and that bolster lock. Does have a hardened steel insert, like all good knives should. Nice little look at this beautiful blade shape and hole. It's just a really sexy looking knife, guys, and just well put together. Everything that he did on this knife, he did for a purpose, and you know, it's just you can tell it was put together and designed by knife people. You know, not somebody just kind of throwing something together and say, hey, I want to get it out there. This is not what Kevin's about. And it shows in this design. I mean, out of all the knives that I have had as far as prototypes, it's a big statement, but it's my favorite so far. Let's go ahead and get just a few specs on it. As of right now, so the overall length, 7.5 inches with a blade length of 3.3, just under 3.3. You have a blade thickness of 137 thousandths. The handle thickness is about 517 thousandths, just a little bit over a half inch. Weight is dead nuts, boom, dead nuts, at 4 ounces. You have 20 CV steel. Just a wonderful combination. Holy freaking moly. Let's go ahead and put it up against some staples that we have on the channel. Give you a nice little size comparison, there it is against the Leon Mall Field Duty. Very similar in overall size and almost all dimensions, really. You have a monoblock construction with a full frame lock, and then, of course, a bolster lock here. Let's go ahead and put it up against the Dylan Mallory Force. This was a gift from Kevin, and as you can see, still very similar overall size, form factor. If you like these kind of, I mean, the thing is, you know, I love well done smaller knives. That's kind of where I don't really dig a lot of the smaller form factors, but these three work amazing, especially for somebody with these things, these big old meat hooks right here. So I just want to make sure that that is nailed down. Everybody who's watching this video, it doesn't matter what your hand size is. This is going to be a sweet spot, as you can see with this neutral handle and this wonderful finger choil that goes into the handle and to the blade. It just makes for a very comfortable blade. As you can see with the Force here, you have, you know, not the same thing. Very generous finger choil here, which makes it very comfortable. But the great thing about this design is you get maximum blade length or cutting edge for this. When you go into the blade like this, which I don't mind at all, trust me, but when you go into the blade like this so much, you do lose some cutting edge, and I know that's a big factor for a lot of people. It's not the case with this knife, so you gotta love that. Then, of course, let's put it up against just, you know, a knife that everybody knows. Here it is against the PM2, so it definitely is a little bit smaller than the PM2, but in a good way. As you can see there, you've got a little bit longer of a blade. They, you know, Spyderco does kind of the same thing with their finger choil with the handle. It's just not done as well. Used to be one of my all-time favorite things about a Spyderco, but there's been so many other designs out there that I've really liked a lot more than the Spyderco, and of course this is one of them. Leon Mall's done a lot on his knives. Bring it back out. As you can see, the same right there. So you know, overall, as far as size, I think it's just going to be basically right there with everybody's preferences, unless you're just weird. So here it is against the TRM Atom, just so you can see what that's about. One of the other knives that are just kind of a thin slicey blade. This one is like, I can cut just as well with this blade as I can with this thin slicey blade, but I feel like I can get more harder work done with this, if that makes sense, than I could with this TRM Atom. Like the knife, it's just it doesn't feel as sturdy as something like this, but you know, very thin titanium liners in this micarta. You've got really nice sturdiness to this build that it just feels more substantial. Now you've got a little bit less weight here, but not substantially. Matter of fact, I want to put that up here. See what I can't remember. It might be substantial because I can't remember what this was. So it's 3 ounces. So you're you know, maybe 1 full ounce. That's to me that's kind of peanuts, but to some others that might not be. So you know 4 ounces, you know, 3.3 inch blade. You're not quite there at the an ounce per inch mark, but you're damn near close. And you know, if you're counting ounces, I don't know why people do that anymore, but hey, people do. It's just not my kind of, not my thing. One other thing that I didn't show was this guy. He's also had them make a mock-up of these pouches that you will more than likely get. If we go to QSP, which I'm pretty sure that's a done deal, you have a very, oops, sorry, hitting the camera, very, very nice pouch to keep your knife in, faux leather, just really, really nice job that they did. I'm really, really impressed with QSP. I can't really get over that because, like I said, QSP's done some really nice work. It's just I really haven't seen quality to this level yet, and it makes me happy that they nailed it as much as they did. Now, he did have some prototypes made by Kunwu that are not here yet. We'll see what those are like. But QSP did such a great job. I just don't know if the other companies could really win this battle because they did such a good job. Hats off to you, QSP, for the craftsmanship that you put into these. Make every one of them like this on the pre-order, and you will have some happy fucking campers. Anyways, guys, that is about it. I'm going to go ahead and leave all the information that you're going to need down below. The website you're going to need to go to, the Instagrams and YouTube channels, you know, Lefty's YouTube channel, the Instagram and the website, all that stuff. The pre-order will happen on April 9th, 1 p.m. Eastern. Delivery date is looking to be August to September. You're going to have the micarta versions of the blade, either a stone wash or a black wash, for $269. The copper carbon fiber for $279. So only $10 more. And you can get the copper carbon fiber, which I'm a huge fucking fan of. And then, let's see, the first 100 orders, I believe, will be getting the limited, I think it's limited. I don't know if he's going to do any more of these, but they're going to be the Divo face hanks. See if I can put a picture of that here if I've got one. Really, really cool. Him and Colin with the, looks like vampires and the knife in their mouth. Freaking just, they're nuts, man. They're just crazy. But first 100 knives, I think, that are ordered will get the hank. So really, really exciting and coming up soon because that's just right around the corner. So go on the website, get on the mailing list. So as soon as they go live, or if there's any changes that we make, you will be notified. So you can go ahead and put your orders in. I don't know if there were going to be any minimums, because with the Avant, I bought both. One of them is going to a buddy, but yeah, it's just that good. Now, definitely stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more reviewers checking this out. So just don't take my word for it, because Kevin is one of my best friends in the entire world. So yeah, I'm like CNN and Fox News. I'm a little biased. But don't take my word for it. Watch everybody else's. But I'm telling you, if you do happen to get one of these, you will not be disappointed. Kevin, I love you, brother. I really appreciate you letting me check this out. One of the first ones to get it in hand. It's just a big honor for me to do that. And you hit it out of the park, brother. Guys, remember, fuck YouTube and Google, and stay safe in this absolutely fucking crazy world that we are living in. And we will see you in the next one.